Eddie Muller here, welcoming you back to TCM. Friday nights in June and July, I'll be your guide through the shadowy world of film noir as we celebrate a summer of darkness. Now, as a writer, I'm probably a little biased, but I believe most of the best noirs come from literary sources. We've already shown two great book-to-film adaptations tonight: Scarlet Street, based on the French crime novel La Chienne, and The Killers from Ernest Hemingway's short story. The trend continues with our next film. From 20th Century Fox in 1947, adapted from the book of the same name by William Lindsay Gresham, it's Nightmare Alley. Now, some of you may be familiar with director Guillermo del Toro's 2021 adaptation of the novel, starring Bradley Cooper, Cate Blanchett, and Rooney Mara. It's visually stunning and actually more faithful to the book. Nevertheless, I'm still partial to the original version. Even though the Hollywood production code lightened some of the darker corners of the story, I appreciate that this is one of the most prescient films of its era, particularly for how it explores the sociopathy of charlatans who prey on a gullible public, a theme more timely now than when the film was made. Fox paid $50,000 for the film rights to the novel, initially thinking it would be a B movie for some of its second-tier stars. But all that changed when the studio's biggest star campaigned for the leading role. Tyrone Power had just finished his World War II service, flying Marine Corps cargo planes over the Pacific, and on his return he was eager to sully up his screen image. He'd grown tired of playing handsome heroes in swashbuckling romance and adventure films. Now he wanted roles that proved he was more than a pretty boy. He began that transformation with a soul-searching adaptation of Somerset Maugham's The Razor's Edge, and Nightmare Alley would be the follow-up. Power plays Stanton Carlyle, a carnival roustabout with aspirations to do more than hustle suckers into the geek show. If he has to screw anyone over in order to make it, whether it's a rum-dum mentalist or a virginal runaway, nothing and no one is going to get in the way of his success. He may be handsome, but Stan is a complete louse. Hardly the role studio boss Darryl Zanuck wanted his biggest box office attraction to play. But let's be thankful that Zanuck caved and let Power have his way, which meant reuniting with his preferred director, Edmund Goulding, who just directed Power in The Razor's Edge. Zanuck also assembled an extraordinary supporting cast, which included roles for three terrific actresses: Joan Blondell, Colleen Gray, and Helen Walker. What Zanuck didn't do was give the film a proper promotion or release schedule, which pretty much killed its chances at the box office. It didn't have the impact on Power's career he hoped it would, but I firmly believe that this film will stand as Tyrone Power's greatest contribution to movie history. See if you agree. From 1947, here is Nightmare Alley. As I mentioned at the top, Nightmare Alley was adapted from a book by William Lindsay Gresham, a writer who led a life more colorful than anything he put in his books. Born in Baltimore and raised in New York, he was first drawn to carnival folk while hanging out on Coney Island as a young man. After volunteering as a medic during the Spanish Civil War, Gresham befriended a guy named Doc Halliday, who prior to his war service had worked in carnival sideshows. Doc's stories inspired Gresham to write Nightmare Alley, which made quite a splash and had him rolling in dough, at least for a while. After the successful publication of Nightmare Alley, Gresham's life started falling apart. He had a couple of unhappy marriages marked by his serial adultery, overconsumption of alcohol, and a penchant for tax evasion. One of his wives, poet Joy Davidman, got so fed up with him that she moved to England to meet her longtime pen pal, author C.S. Lewis, whom she eventually married. Meanwhile, Gresham quit drinking, briefly dabbled in Scientology, and wrote a biography of Harry Houdini before taking his own life at age 53. Business cards reportedly found in his pocket read, "No address, no phone, no money, retired." Years later, Joy Davidman's relationship with C.S. Lewis would be depicted in the movie Shadowlands, starring Deborah Winger and Anthony Hopkins. Well, that'll do it for me this evening. I will be back in 2 weeks with more of our Summer of Darkness. If you can't wait that long, go to HBO Max for more noir classics. But if you're up for some late-night neo-noir, stick around as Robert Mitchum heads to Japan to help an old friend find his missing daughter. The Yakuza is up next on TCM.
Next on TCM, the Yakuza, then the first deadly sin, and later, sex and the single girl. Swipe right on TCM tonight.